This is Date with the Divas. If this is your first time, welcome. And if it's not your first time and you are returning, well, thank you for returning. And I hope you're enjoying our videos. As always, we have some hot topics to discuss with you. And if you haven't clicked on that subscribe button, please do so. And also click on that bell so you don't forget when our latest and greatest are coming out. All right, Ms. Marnita, shall we?
All right, y'all. Did you call on me?
I did.
Yes. All right, y'all. We got some hot topics for y'all, and we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So I don't know if you guys heard, but Angela Bassett will be receiving an honorary Oscar. Did y'all hear about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I did.
Okay. So my sources for the story are AOL, The Grio, and comicbook.com. So Angela Bassett, as you may or may not know, she is a two-time Oscar nominee. She was nominated in 1994 for Best Actress for What's Love Got to Do with It, and in 2023 for Best Supporting Actress for Wakanda Forever. She lost both nominations. However, yesterday, the Academy of Motion Pictures and Arts and Sciences announced that Angela Bassett, alongside with Mel Brooks and film editor Carol Littleton, will receive honorary Oscars. And Michelle Satter, the founding senior director of Sundance Institute's Artist Program, will receive the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award. The honorary awards will be given out at the Governor's Ball ceremony in November, which is a non-televised event. The Academy president, Janet Young, says the Academy is thrilled to honor these four trailblazers who have transformed the film industry and inspired generations. Young also says the following about Angela Bassett. Across her decades-long career, Angela Bassett has continued to deliver transcendent performances that set new standards in acting. It should be noted that most recipients of these honorary awards have not won competitive awards, with the exception of Mel Brooks. In 1969, he won an Oscar for original screenplay for The Producers. So a lot of fans are kind of torn by this. They're saying, if this is the case, that she's that good, Angela Bassett should have won for one of her prior nominations. One article that I read said that Angela Bassett should have won this last one over Jamie Lee Curtis, and they should have gave Jamie Lee Curtis this honorary award. So Divas, talk to me. How do you feel about Angela Bassett winning this honorary award at a ceremony that's not televised? Do you feel like she's being snubbed a little bit, or do you feel like this is okay?
I feel like it's second place.
I agree.
It's for all those people who,
I agree.
like, it's like when you give a child a trophy. Oh, you did so great. Here you go. But there's some people,
award.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm like, what is the purpose of an honorary Oscar? It's not like she's retired. Okay, she's still acting, people.
Right.
More opportunities.
and she's still alive.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. So why are we giving an honorary anything to a select few for? Like, what started that to begin with? Do you know? Like,
I don't know the history of the honorary awards, but it is not anything new. It's not something new. It's something that's been going on. But for even the president of the Motion Picture Academy to say, oh, she's transcendent in all her roles and she's this and that, it's like, okay, if she's that good, why didn't she win one of them Oscars when she was
On her own merit?
for it?
On her own merit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Because
And then does
like
winning
they're
this-
classifying somebody.
and does winning this eliminate her from winning in the future of anything else?
No,
Oscars?
no, no.
No,
It just seems like they kind of want to appease her for now because they don't plan on giving it to her for the next 10 years.
Or
something.
they haven't given it to her. I think
Or
It's
Yeah, they
probably
haven't given
just-
it to her, and they don't plan to give it to her for another 10 years. That's why they're giving her this honorary thing to shut her and her fans up. That's what I'm
Well,
getting.
we have to remember that this gets voted on by the
right.
Academy members. So the president doesn't get to just decide who wins the competitive awards. So maybe she felt like Angela Bassett should have won last year. And so maybe she
maybe
promoted
whoever
this.
nominated it put it out there.
That's a good point. That's a good
Well,
point.
does the
It's like,
committee
okay,
decide on honorary people too, or just the president only?
I'm sorry, what?
I think there's
Who-
probably
who-
a committee of leadership that decides on who the honorary awards go to, but
I
the
would think so,
competitive
too.
awards are voted on by their peers.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, because there are different actors and people in the industry that are part of the academy that can vote. Is that correct?
Yeah, anyone who's been nominated becomes a voting member.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. So some bribes may have gone around to get, okay, just checking. All right. Mhm.
Well, bribes can go around anywhere.
That's true.
I don't know. I just think
Yeah, I am conflicted about it.
it
I'm
leaves a sour
conflicted
taste
and
in my mouth.
confused.
Yeah. It seems like maybe somebody had a hissy fit and that's why they gave it. I don't know.
You know, again, it could have just been like, I think that was Anshis that said, you
Trace
know,
was saying.
okay, let's vote on her having this at this time. Maybe, you know, there were people that were like, really, she should have won, and let's, you know, vote on this so that she can get it this time. Well, you know, whomever can get it this time, and she
Right.
actually-
Yeah, I mean, 'cause-
Would you want it? Would you want it? If that were you, would you want it at that point?
I have a question. You know how they have that thing where everyone gets one and you get like the status when you get one
That's
of
what we said,
everything?
the participation. That's what you're
No. When you get like an Oscar, a Grammy.
Oh, the EGOT.
oh, EGOT
EGOT. Okay, so when you get an EGOT, so let's say the only thing you were missing
was the
was
Oscar.
this Oscar, right? Does that count, or does it like?
No,
That's a good
That's what I
question.
So you said that alpha fast on trees.
no.
I would be like, yeah,
I
dude.
said it awful fast.
You got an
I said-
Oscar, so technically you got the O in the
Girl,
EGOT.
we didn't see it on
That's what
TV.
that's what I
We
was
didn't
thinking.
know
I was
if it
like,
really
so
happened.
So what's the criteria? Like, what does it interfere with other stuff? Like I said, with this EGOT thing, does it interfere with that? My thing is, I feel like it's so, like you said, it's kind of like, you know what, little girl, we got you. You're gonna get an award because everybody gets one.
I
No,
think
no.
And I love her acting. Don't get me wrong. I really
Mhm.
love
Oh,
her
no.
acting. But yeah, you get an award, you get an Oscar, you get an Oscar, and you get an Oscar.
That's
So
I
you
just
guys
feel it's
think that there's-
taking away.
Are you guys thinking that there should not be honorary Oscars, that they should just stick with what the Academy voted for?
No, I personally think honorary Oscars are great. They're
Yeah.
like lifetime achievement, but it should be like the lifetime achievement. It shouldn't be because we never gave you one. So now here,
Right.
Because I'm like really concerned, like, what is the criteria? What makes you, just like you said, you had this whole big, diatribe about why she's getting this honorary. So it's I'm conflicted in terms of, so she's such a great actress, but you didn't give it to her.
Well, again,
Yeah.
this is the president saying this. So the president has to provide lip service. Okay, fine. The president, again, is not the one
Only
that
person voting.
voting for when the Oscar with the Oscar. So that's a different, a different, I guess, topic. So with this particular port right here, because they're going to ask this president, why are you giving it? And they have to provide a statement. That is the statement and that is the nice statement that they have to give, right?
Here's what you guys keep asking. The honorary awards are given for lifetime achievements, exceptional contributions, which is why they're giving that
Right,
explanation for her, exceptional contributions
right.
to motion picture arts and sciences and outstanding service at the discretion of the Board of Governors.
There you go.
So it's, I see it now that Antrese, that you brought that point up. It's like, okay, the board didn't agree with what the with what the
masses.
members were saying. So they were like, this is who, while we on the board, we gonna make sure she gets her
We're gonna
award.
make sure
So-
that she gets recognized. Okay.
You know, I guess some recognition is better than no recognition. But I do wish that she could have her moment and receive her statue on TV and actually give her thanks and everything. So, you know, it's 2023. Maybe she'll give us a live feed from the, you know, from the award ceremony or something. There are ways to have your moment and have it out there, but it just won't be televised by, what is it, CBS or whatever. Viewers, drop down in their comments. Let us know what you feel about these honorary Oscars. Do you feel like she's still being snubbed? Are you waiting for her to have her moment on TV? Drop down, talk to us, drop down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Okay, we're gonna go on to another awards ceremony. Did anybody watch the BET Awards?
I saw outtakes now. I saw pieces of it.
I saw a little bit of it, but the next day, I'm not sure if you guys saw, but Patti LaBelle did a tribute to Miss Tina Turner where she forgot the lyrics to her song, The Best. My sources for this story are insider.com, YouTube, and entertainmenttonight.com. So the BET Awards took place in Los Angeles this past Sunday. One of the night's many performances was Patti LaBelle singing a tribute to the late Tina Turner, who passed away in May. During the performance of the song, The Best, Patti forgot the words. In the first verse, Patty's singing and she starts kind of mumbling and then she goes, "I'm trying, y'all." So she kind of picks back up on the chorus. She was a little late with some of the words, but she picks up on the chorus. She belts it out. She gives us that classic Patti LaBelle sound. Then we go into the second verse. She starts mumbling again before saying, "Oh Lord," and then singing whatever. I can't see the words. This is not the first time that Patti has had this issue. In 1996, I believe, at the National Tree
Lighting.
Lighting.
Back in that history book for
Because I remembered this. In 1996, at the National Tree Lighting Ceremony, Patti LaBelle was supposed to be singing Donny Hathaway's "This Christmas." And so she gets up there, she starts singing, and she's like, "Next card, honey, next card. I can't see the cards. Where my background singers?" You know, so that was something that kind of went viral after on online and stuff. So I kind of remembered that. So I dug back to that. But Patti LaBelle explained to Entertainment Tonight after the BET performance, she said, "Oh, I was hoarse. I have a cold, but I was going to be here no matter what because I love Tina."
What does that have to do with not knowing the words?
Exactly.
Not
Yeah, I'm
learning
cold, so
the
I didn't have to
song.
know
They
the
also
words.
said that people were standing in front of the teleprompter. 'Cause
Teleprompter.
sometimes they
But
do that.
I
So-
But you
mean,
know what? If she knew the song, it wouldn't matter who was standing in front of the teleprompter.
Yeah.
She should have learned the song.
right. It's not like Tina Turner died like last week or something, you know. You knew this was coming.
Right, it's almost like she didn't have
It's
any
one song.
rehearsals. Like if you have a couple of rehearsals, you'll know the words a little bit. Like, come on.
Like I said, she didn't
It's
learn
it's on the
song.
verge of just disrespectful, and that's the only word that I can come up with. And you know what? Love Patty, but like if you think about it in reverse, like would you
But look,
want
Adele
someone?
forgot her own song the other day. It was her own song and she forgot the words.
Who did?
Adele.
But Adele can
No.
I'm just
But
saying,
you're
like
doing a tribute.
we're playing homage to somebody who's
I get you.
dead,
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
and
She had
I
one
feel
song
like
to learn.
if the tables were turned, how would you feel if, I don't know, somebody was singing your song and they sang Lady Marmalade and they
She doesn't
just
like
totally I don't know.
I'm
I'm
just
just trying to think of I couldn't think of a song, a Patti LaBelle song, on my own. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. And oh dag, I just dated myself. But anyway, and they forgot the words. I just feel like it's a little you're playing homage to somebody, the minimum at bare minimum. Even if you sing horribly, at least you know the words. I can
Or
get
pretend like you do. Make up some words on the spot.
She didn't forget. She did not know the words.
Well, what we're
Forget not
saying is
knowing
she
it's-
should have learned them
Exactly.
beforehand. You agreed to
That's
do
what
a
I'm saying.
tribute. Okay,
Yes,
what am
you
I
learned
singing?
the
I'm
song.
singing Simply the Best. Okay, what are the words?
See, this is why just because someone has status, they should still audition people to do the tribute. Because just because you got status don't mean you can rock it, apparently. So proof in the pudding.
Auditioning wouldn't have done any good. She had to learn the words. She could sing
If
it.
she
Well,
auditioned, she
then they
would
would
have
have
got the
known
part.
that she didn't know
That's
the
the point of
words.
audition. You wouldn't have gotten it if you auditioned for it.
It makes
Well, that's what
me
got it.
wonder how Patti LaBelle even got selected to participate
Right.
in a Tina Turner tribute. When I think of Tina Turner, I'm a big fan of both of them. Let me say that.
Mhm.
When I think of Tina Turner, I don't think of Patti LaBelle.
Yes,
And I think of
Totally different.
performance style and what I
totally
love
agree.
about each art. Like they don't go together. So
Right.
Exactly.
I don't
So
know.
question for
You
you.
saw
Doing the show on Broadway.
Excuse me?
Oh, you said the person that's doing the show on Broadway?
Yeah, they should have had her do it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, it's playing in LA right now. Pantages Theater ain't that far from downtown.
right.
She
I
could have
saw
just.
it on Sunday. It
Was it good?
was all right.
That's what I heard.
So my question to you is there anybody that you ladies have in mind that could have pulled it off?
AC
That-
Gray.
Didn't Beyonce and Tina perform together at an awards show?
Yes, I've seen that clip recently, but Beyonce ain't gonna show up
Yeah,
What's
I'm
her
not.
name?
Why would you assume that?
because it's the BET Awards and she wasn't there.
Jennifer.
And she's on tour.
Hudson.
And she's
Jennifer Hudson?
She's not in America right now.
For Tina Turner?
No, Tina Turner.
Well, okay.
She's
She's got
of a person. Yeah.
She's got
I'm
a
thinking
strong
like, and this may
voice.
sound like,
You need
I'm sorry.
somebody with a strong voice. Or what's her name?
I'm thinking Pink.
No, I was thinking
Mariah?
She talks high, but her voice is good.
Oh, Michelle.
Oh, Fantasia.
Yes, Ms. Nicole, you said her name.
Fantasia.
There
Fantasia.
we go.
Okay.
Fantasia.
I said
And
Macy
I'm
Gray because
thinking
of
like-
the raspy voice, but I
And
mean,
that's why I would say Pink, because Pink can do that raspiness,
yeah.
but still
Yeah.
have a little bit of soul to it.
Had
I
that
would
high
think- and
energy.
has that
Tina
rock.
Turner was
has that
rock and
hard.
roll.
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
Kind of that little
Michelle, were you
rock.
going to say something?
Yes, all I was just going to say, because Antrice brought up the fact that Beyonce and Tina Turner performed, and I think there was a little hubbubaloo because of the way Beyonce introduced Tina Turner. She referred to her as the queen, I think the queen of soul or rock and roll, and
Nope.
they said, was I wrong? Did she refer to her
No,
as
no, no,
something
no,
else?
no. She's not. Go ahead. She's not.
No, but what I'm saying, that's why there was controversy, because they
Okay.
said she shouldn't have referred to her as the queen.
Okay.
So that's all.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it?
Okay.
So you're saying they wouldn't have decided to go with Beyonce anyway because of that little tiff or whatever mishap?
Yeah, I think there was.
Was
the
Tina
performance
Turner
that they
didn't
gave
like the?
together was amazing. I don't know if you guys saw it, but their performance was amazing together. I can't imagine Tina Turner was holding a grudge against Beyonce.
I wouldn't have chosen
Why was that an
Beyonce.
insult to be
I
called
neither
the
would
queen or
have I.
something? I'm confused on that part, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
was
who was
Did Tina
insulted?
not like being called the queen, or was that?
No, people said that Beyonce disrespected.
Tina Turner because of the miss.
No, not
name?
Tina
Whoever-
Turner. They said that. Gosh, I'm forgetting. They said that Tina Turner was not referred to, or shouldn't have been referred to, as the queen,
Okay.
because
Okay.
some
The Queen
that
of
was
Soul?
some, yeah,
Was she
because
referred
that
to
was
as the Queen of Soul? Aretha Franklin's title.
yes.
It was 2008 Grammys where they
Okay.
performed together in a and they both had little silver dresses on.
Mhm.
I still,
And
I don't know.
Tina Turner requested Beyonce to perform with her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I personally still think her.
I
voice-
mean, maybe if Beyonce wasn't on tour,
Mhm,
it probably would have been possible.
mhm.
But yeah, I did think that too when I was like, Patti LaBelle doing a Tina Turner song, I just wouldn't have thought. But she would have sounded good had she not start mumbling and said, I can't see the teleprompter, I don't know the words. Like,
Mhm.
And it just lets you know Patty is not a fan, because who doesn't know the best if you're a fan?
I don't.
I
I've
don't.
never heard.
You're a
I,
fan.
I've
I
never
know
heard
the
this song.
chorus. I know the chorus, but I
If
don't.
you're
I
a
was gonna say I
fan,
know the chorus, but when she first started singing, I was like, what song is this?
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
should have picked
I know
another
every
song.
word to the song. I guess I'm a
Oh,
fan.
next, BET, call Antrice.
right. But does this
I could
also
have done it. I could have done it.
right? But does you think this kind of shows that artists really don't take BET that seriously if they don't think that they need to really rehearse and practice for certain
But
things.
like I said, this has happened to her before. So
From
maybe it's
1996,
just-
when she was what, 12? Come on.
But she's also
but-
getting old. I mean, you guys
yeah,
got to.
she's
This woman's
80
old.
something, girl.
She's old.
I know, I'm
I'm
just
not
saying
saying
that's like a
it's
good
not
2
just
decades
I
ago.
don't think it's the fault of the station, meaning BET, because remember you have the divas, you know, and you have various celebrities that are like, oh no, I'm not showing up, and da 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 da. So they got to deal with all this temperament and stuff like that. So I think it's a mutual mishap.
I think that she should have just been prepared. Her team should have made sure she was prepared. Lavelle, were you
I
gonna say
agree.
something?
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. I agree with you. She should have just been prepared.
And
I
you know,
agree.
maybe somebody should have been in front of that teleprompter, making sure that it could be seen, because yeah, teleprompters.
Yeah, why
Especially
didn't
if
you
you don't know.
just move up if people were standing in front of it? Like, come on now, production people, come on.
But let's face
But
it.
They're on
Nobody is-
strike, Alicia. No.
writers, not
let's face it.
teleprompters. Okay.
No one person is thinking that a singer, you know, like you mentioned that Adele didn't know the words to her own song, but nobody's really thinking that a singer who's supposed to be well seasoned doesn't know the words to somebody who she's paying tribute to.
Or
Nobody's
doing the
thinking that.
performance.
Well, you remember,
Performance.
I mean, you've seen where people they kind of in the moment they lose their words for like the Star Spangled Banner. That has happened too. So I mean, I don't know. You know, I do believe that she just did not know the words,
Yeah.
and so, or you know, I don't.
Yeah, she didn't seem to have a clue
Mhm,
what the
None
words should have
at
been,
all.
and that just should have.
mhm.
That could have been. I feel like that could have been handled, like especially since it happened to you before.
Put
But
those things in the ears and just be like, here,
Yeah,
Well,
you're
if I
right.
was
You're
her, I
right,
would have
Joe.
said I had a code. I would have
still
just been like,
singing, but they got it in here. You know,
or make sure she got her background singers to because her
Help her
famous.
out.
Where my background singers?
Mhm.
And
Make sure
in,
you got them
in
to fill
defense
in.
of Adele,
Adele had how many songs she had to memorize for
no, I know. I'm
Right.
just, you know, we're just
Yeah.
I'm not having her bad mouth.
Yeah. All right. Well, viewers, jump down in those comments and let us know. Did you watch the BET Awards? Do you think this was disrespectful or just a mishap? And who would you like to see do a tribute to Tina Turner? Because we can probably still have some tributes, you know, other award shows coming up and whatnot.
I'm sure we will.
Yes. Okay. Y'all know I like to save the mess for last.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Does anybody watch Love and Marriage Huntsville?
Yes.
On occasion.
Okay, Lavelle. Antrice, you?
Yes, I just binge watched it this last week. I'm up to season 5.
Okay, so I don't watch, but this story caught my eye. So maybe our viewers of the show can add a little bit of detail if I'm missing anything. So there was a clip the other day of Maurice Scott. He is one of the husbands on Love and Marriage Huntsville. He was having a interview with Carlos King. So there's Maurice Scott with his wife, Kimmy. My sources for this story are Twitter, Carlos King YouTube show, Reality with the King. Maurice Scott was having this interview with Carlos King, who is the producer of the show. They were kind of having the after show. I guess the show had just aired. And Maurice talked about his views on marriage, sex, parenting. And during the interview, they start out the interview where Maurice is describing himself as a traditional man, meaning that he saw his father go to work, his mother stayed home, took care of the kids, raised the kids. So he feels like that's a traditional household and that's how he is. They get into how Maurice's wife, Kimmy, was diagnosed with breast cancer a year ago, and she is now cancer-free. During the interview, they spoke about something that happened last season where I think they were in a group therapy session, and Kimmy admitted to kind of faking orgasms while they were having sex. So Maurice says his wife suffered through sex with him while she was going through cancer treatments because he needs sex rather than just wants it. He said people can want something and need something. He needs sex. He
Twice a day.
says, say what?
Twice a day.
Yes, yes. Every day, sometimes multiple times a day. He says his wife rolls over and suffers through it for him. And
Who
so
says this?
Maurice, the
No,
gentleman
no,
who
no.
just
I'm saying he says his
he
wife
said that.
suffers through this.
Right.
Yes,
Say
those were his
So he knows
words.
what he's doing.
I just-
Diabolical. Keep going.
Okay, I'm
Those
just
were his words.
I'm
So
just making sure.
So Carlos King wanted to clear up when he said, okay, you need sex. He was like, you're saying you need sex. People need air. People need water. People need food. They need these things or they're going to get physically ill. Clarify you saying you need sex. So Carlos Maurice kind of laughed it off and made a joke. He was like, oh, I need sex like you need mess, referring to Carlos King being a reality show producer. So they laughed it off. Carlos King came back and said, no, but really clarify this, you saying you need sex. And Maurice goes on to say, life without sex is like life in black and white, and I like to live in color. So he never gave an answer like, I'm going to explode if I don't have sex. So they keep talking, and Carlos King asked Maurice, what's the longest he's gone without sex? He says 6 months right after college because he wanted to see if he could control himself. So Twitter, the comments on YouTube, they were lighting him up. They were lighting Maurice up, like, you are making your wife suffer through sex. This is horrible that you are putting your wife, your sexual needs before your wife's
health.
care.
Like she's literally trying to fight something that could kill her.
Right.
And you worried about a boner?
So
Selfish.
Divas, weigh in. Tell me what you think.
But can I ask a question? Is the
Yes.
wife so the wife does not want to engage?
That's what it sounds like from what he said. He said she's getting no pleasure out of this.
That's
She
what she
rolls
said.
over and suffers through it for me.
She said.
She said this too, Auntie. She said,
Well, it's been a long running, because like I said, I just binge watched the show. It's been one of their long running issues is he wants sex every day. And this was challenging before her cancer diagnosis, because she was like, look, I have a full-time job. I'm taking care of you and the boys and this household. And sometimes I have other things to do. And you want me to stop and have sex with you. And I'm thinking about all the stuff I have to do. But so that's always been a thing in their marriage, is that he is a traditional man who wants her to take care of the home and to please him. So when she was suffering with the cancer recovery, she admitted they were still having sex, but she's like, now I just roll over, I do the and then I get to roll back over and go back to sleep and rest. And so he's like, oh, so you're suffering through for me. So that's where that came from.
Yeah. I mean, when you go into cancer treatment, you throwing up, you don't even want to eat your actual food sometimes. So for him to expect the fact that he didn't even consider like, hey, maybe today I'd give her a break because, you know, she's losing weight, she's tired from all these chemo treatments, something, nothing. Like, what is he like? I think she had surgery too. Did he have sex with her on the day after she recovered from surgery? Like, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It's all about him.
I agree with LaBelle. That was just selfish.
He's a narcissist, and it's all about him.
I don't know why she sticks with him, because he does other stuff like this throughout their marriage. Like he said, he's very traditional. She does all the chores around the house. He has like a 12 or 13-year-old or 15-year-old boy.
They brought that up as well.
And he does not enforce for his son to do any chores around the house. He's like, well, that's Kimmy's kind of job. So even the son doesn't help out around with chores. She has to like force the issue a little bit. It's like ridiculous.
This is his son, not her son, because her son is a
Right.
grown man.
Yep.
But I mean, that's what she signed up for, because she wanted a husband, you know.
I was going to ask, how long have they been married? I know they dated for 7
Not very
years
long.
before he proposed.
I think they got married season 2, right, LaBelle?
Yeah, about season 2. Yeah,
They
correct.
got married on the show.
Okay, so they've only been married a couple years now.
Yeah, not that
Right.
long.
She
So
knew
wait,
what
But-
she
so
was
that's- is
getting
it one
into,
way?
you guys.
Exactly.
She knew what she was getting into. We can sit here and to have a dialogue. She knew what she was getting into. He has
But
not
wait,
changed.
what do you mean when you say she knew what she was getting into? She knew
Like
she
what
was
his
gonna have cancer?
expectations
She knew
were.
she was gonna have sex.
She
with
was
this
dating this man for 7
For
years.
7
years.
years.
I understand they lived together before they got married. And I
Correct.
remember him saying, why, because they would always ask him, why did you marry her after 7 years? And he was like, well, I met this woman who was beautiful and smart, and she was a go-getter. And I was like, I was waiting for the other shoe to fall. And I just kept looking for what's wrong with her. Why hasn't she been taken off the market yet? So he gave himself those 7 years to vet her. So
Okay,
I would
but that's what
imagine-
but I'm still understanding what is it that
She
should have
accepted, I
known.
mean, you have conversations you should in a relationship to determine like what the partner's sexual appetite is. If he's saying he wants sex every day, she knew that going into it.
She
And I don't know what
absolutely-
agreement they made. No, I'm not talking about from the cancer perspective. He knew what she knew also that he expected her to take care of the home. I mean, I'm just saying, even if she had a full-time job, she knew all that when she married him. It wasn't like all of a sudden she was, I'm assuming, because I don't watch the show, let me clarify, that she was bamboozled.
Mhm.
So for us to sit here and say, oh, well, she's having to clean the house and everybody's doing that, she knew that was the expectations of their marriage and their relationship, and she accepted that. Now she can change the rules and see if he wants to change, but that's what she got into. It's no different than a woman wanting a man to take care of them and not, and that's what he's gotten
Well,
into that. And I'm not talking about the cancer having sex, then I'm just in general.
the
Mhm.
first
Outside of the cancer, I think that's just, that's low in itself. But in
Is she
general, we're
unhappy
talking
with the
about having to
situation?
clean the house and all that. She knew what she was getting into.
What
Right,
was
we
your
heard
question,
that.
Nicole?
We know that. Was she complaining about her situation other than the cancer?
I mean, it's been a long running point of tension between them. that-
Yeah, and it's been their storyline on the reality show a little bit. You know what I mean? That's why they go to counseling sometimes, and then there's their. I mean, they could be playing it for the cameras maybe, but that's their drama for the show with her complain about it. So
So it's not.
but the bad part is that he's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna change, I'm gonna do better. So he acts like,
Mm.
he has her back, or like, yeah, I'll stand up with you with my son, blah, 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 but it could be for the cameras. Like you said, maybe she knows and she's just playing along for the cameras to have some tension, but she has complained.
The thing that upset me when I listened to part of the interview was he made a comment to Carlos, because Carlos couldn't believe he was saying these things. And Carlos, to his credit, kept giving him opportunities to rephrase it or say it a different way.
Clean it up.
Take it back. So they kept going in circles around it. And at one point he said, at the end of the day, she stood by me while I was standing by her. So she was meeting my needs while I was standing by her through this cancer thing. And I just thought, oh my God. So there's like a veiled threat in that if you don't meet my needs, I may not be here for you during this years-long struggle that you're having.
And I was kind of wondering that too. I was like, is that why she's suffering through it? Because like Marilyn said, you knew what you were getting into. Just, you knew if you know you're with someone that needs sex every day, was it like, okay, well, I'm going to do this so I don't lose my husband? I don't know. And I'm interested to know, and I don't know if
making excuses for this man.
Say what?
Are we making excuses for this?
No, I'm not making excuses. I'm trying to figure out her point of view, like what would make her do this instead of standing up for herself and saying,
Right.
no, like I cannot handle this right now. But I'm interested to know, and I don't know if they go into this on the show. He's saying, I want sex every day. Was there a compromise? Like, okay, once a week, once every couple days, like,
I don't think they went into it
But
that
he
much
didn't-
on the actual show, that part like that now.
right. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I don't know if they're going to talk, but it's like, if they sat there and talked and said, okay.
You know what,
This
a
is
long
it.
running theme on the show, because I've just immersed myself in it,
Mhm.
is cheating.
Mhm.
And there's a big cheater, pumpkin eater on the show named Martell Holt.
Oh,
who
yes.
just
Who's
blew
dating
up-
Sheree, right?
Yeah, he blew up his marriage with the mistress that he had for like 3 to 5 years. And
Mm-hmm.
as he's fighting with his ex-wife, he keeps
Mm-hmm.
telling her, it was you stopped doing things. You stopped doing,
Right.
stop doing that. And so there's always this underlying theme that a woman has to do certain things on the show. There's a theme that a woman has to do certain things to keep her man faithful to her. So for
Not
me,
just on the show.
I feel like Kimmy does these things to keep her husband, because there's a veiled threat that if you don't do them, he might step out on you. And
Right.
you might
It's your fault because you didn't satisfy me or do me, therefore I'm gonna go seek it elsewhere. It's your fault that I
Exactly.
have to
If
seek it.
my house is clean, if my house is not clean and the kids is all a mess, I don't want to come home. When I come home, you're talking too much. So I don't want to come home. You did this, therefore
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
come on, man.
It's that narcissistic attitude.
And that came off in the interview. Like I said, I don't watch the show, but it just the way that he was saying, like, she suffers through this for me. Like, she's great. Like,
For me,
cringy.
with Maurice, he tries to pass the buck because there's even a discussion with the son and what he does at home, and he tells his wife that maybe she should talk to the ex-wife about him. That is not her job.
Right.
You had your child with this
You
woman.
talk to the ex-wife.
Yes. Why
you
does
guys
she have
parent
to make
together?
Yeah. Yes, you're in a group together to make this work but why should she have to go out of her way to do it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think all the men on that show are definitely chauvinistic, narcissistic, borderline cheaters. Because it's also been rumored too that, Martell's a big cheater, and they're like besties with the other married men on there, and they're like all hung out while he was cheating, blah, blah, blah. So it's like rumored that maybe they were cheating too because he was cheating, so.
I don't agree with the point Marilyn was making, that we can vilify the men, but there's also a desperation among middle-class Black women to just, you have to get a husband. And when you get him, you have to do whatever you can to keep him. And there's this shortage consciousness among Black women that there's not enough men to go around, and you get him anyway.
You got you a good Black man.
Yeah,
he's a lawyer. You better roll over and take that. What's a little D every night? Just roll over and moan and do the dishes and whatever else.
That's a good point.
I think that's a woman's situation, a woman's issue or a problem or whatever you want to call
like
it.
a general
in general,
general woman's problem. Yeah,
a little different among Black women. I think
I think it also might be a geographical, like, they're in Huntsville, like I'm in California. It's not always like that in LA. Like,
wait, hold up. You think there's a plethora of Black men for you, Marnita? Where you?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the focus here is not always get your man and get your husband and do whatever. It's go after your career.
Okay.
I agree.
But
I think you go after your career, but if you look around the circles of the single women, and it's not just LA, it's everywhere, and even other predominantly very professional women's areas, it's a struggle. And I don't know if you heard about Houston men, there are so many women to men ratio, they don't need to even settle down. Like there's bad bees down there. Not calling them, but they're talking about how great, like, high level women, and it's like the regular ones, you can't even compete. It's crazy.
The world population is already more women than men.
No, I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not talking about the easiness to get a husband. I'm just like, the emphasis on it. The emphasis on go get your man. But
what age are you talking about, Marnita? Maybe for young women,
like 30s, 40s.
No, that's
no. But by 30s and 40s, women are starting to want
to get desperate
to get a husband.
That's what they're looking for.
I ain't desperate. I let the time pass. I ain't desperate.
A lot of women, I think at that time, are looking for families too, and so that's where the desperation, because you're a biological clock. If you ain't
thing, we kind of go.
If you ain't frozen your eggs, you're like, you need some sperm to be fertile with.
Right. And then, you know, it's nice to have a household, that ideal household, if that's the way that you want to go. But
we shouldn't settle. I think that's the biggest issue.
no, yeah, exactly. We shouldn't settle. And if you
Go with abuse and toxic relationship patterns just to say you have a man.
right, exactly. And I was gonna say, if you're dating somebody for 7 years, you should be vetting him as well. You should be talking about these things. You should be, you know, it's something to consider. I most people aren't going to consider, what if I am ill and sex, you know, hurts me, or whatever the case may be. I don't know if it was physically hurting her or not, but you know, gotta think about those things, ladies. All right. I let that one go a little bit long. Viewers, drop down in the comments, let us know. Do you watch Love and Marriage Huntsville? What do you think of Mr. Maurice Scott? What do you think about marriage and everything? Would you like us to do a deep dive episode about like marriage and stuff like that, and relationships? Let us know. Talk to us out there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notifications when our videos pop up. We will be taking a break next week to celebrate Independence Day. Yes, we did celebrate Juneteenth too. Don't do us. We did celebrate Juneteenth too, but we, like crazies, did not take off. So we're going to take off next week, and we will see you guys the following week. So what you can do is go ahead and check out some of our old videos in the meantime, in between time. All right, y'all. We will see y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.